Thank you for taking this moment to breathe and to listen to what can change your life forever. My name is Ragnar Zinikas, and I'm the founder of Starpreneurs TV, How to Dominate a Decade talk show, World Woman Conference and Awards, and the creator of Coral Desk. My mission is to empower through education, and I want to thank you. And you most probably already know why I want to thank you. But if you're here for the first time, I want to thank you because by showing up, you are investing in your future and in your personal growth. Because every story has the power to change someone else's life. And today we're bringing a beautiful soul in front of you from United States of America. And I'm really honored to have in front of me and sharing her story. And today we have Wei Li Duanyoung. She's the founder of Athena Sisterhood. She's also a proud mom, wife, entrepreneur, best-selling author, and board-certified behavior analyst. But without any further ado, let's see what Wei Li has to say about herself, and let's give her the microphone to tell her story. So Wei Li, welcome to the show, and thank you very much for being with us today. So tell us, who is Wei Li?
Oh, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor to be here. Well, let me start with my name first. So Wei Li is a Chinese name, and it's made by two characters. Wei, it means grand, and Li means beautiful. And interestingly, in Chinese culture, Wei, majority of time is for boys. Girls don't have that part in their name. So I only went back to my name last year on my 49th birthday. And for the previous 27 years while I was in America, I've used the name Doris. And reason why is because I came to the United States at age 22, and I just thought people would not remember my name. So for my professors and for my classmates, I just made it easier, Doris. And I remember my professor said, which mom will name their daughter Doris if they're not 70 years old? That is such an old name. I had no idea. So I went on this journey about finding who Wei Li is. My journey actually started when I was 42 years old. I went to an event called Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins. And at that event, something within me really just unlocked. It brought me back to my childhood. And I had some sexual trauma in the family. And that was the place that I heard divine voice, like, I sent love to you. And from that point to today, this was 8 years journey along the way. So I found who is Wei Li. That's why I changed my name back to my birth name. She is in me. She is this beautiful soul that's living this life journey now. Her mission is really to unite the masculine energy, which is Wei, and the beautiful energy, which is Li. So that's who Wei Li is here.
I think it's one of the most beautiful answers that I have ever received, because usually when we ask who you are, most of the people start to put themselves into roles, like I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a professor, I'm an entrepreneur, and all of that. So it was a truly beautiful answer, and I really thank you for your vulnerability and sharing all of it in a sense that it's very straight to the point, and I think in order to have that clarity, it took you a long time, because that was a very clear answer. Usually people do not have that clarity, and especially about themselves. So I want to congratulate you. Very well done. So, but let's move further. Let's talk about now also about your passion and purpose in life. I'm pretty sure that dragging out everything, knowing really authentically who you are, there's a lot of clarity about your passion and purpose in life as well.
Yes, yes. So I was saying about Data with Destiny is the time that I opened, right? So my passion stays to today is really just to be the channel of love for the creators and to do grace for myself and for others around me. So that's exactly the purpose in my life, is to learn and to evolve as a soul in Earth School. Whatever comes is an experiment of surrenderness for me. And that is why I'm here.
Well, I think that the interview is going to be very short because there's so much. I should have prepared like 20 questions or something. I'm just kidding. It's beautiful. I think that it also opens up a lot of room inside of us because we know and we're focused and we know exactly where to put our energy and what energy do we want to give out and also receive. So so that's really really important, and to really become that person that has the awareness to do so. It's going to take a lot of time to achieve it. So again, incredible work with yourself. We all have our, let's say, the way that people perceive us and the way that people see us, and sort of our uniqueness. What would you say? How do you distinguish yourself in life and in business? Because people come to you or people come back to us because they see something in us. What do you think? What do they see in you when they do business with you, or whether they are personally contacting you?
Well, that's one thing. People talk about how I'm different in the way that I can switch into the role of masculine energy and then switch back to the role of feminine energy at ease. So maybe that's something that can distinguish me from others. But also, I believe for me is I truly, at least try to live in the present moment. Like right now in front of me is this beautiful soul, which is you, Ragna. That's all I'm focusing on, is how could I be here to serve your audience, to serve who is going to listen in the future. That's why I'm here. Maybe that's also a distinction factor about how I show up.
For sure, and I think really living in a present moment is actually very new to so many people that when you talk about it, they're like, "What do you mean? Of course I do." And then when you dig deeper, it's like they have no clue what living in what truly living in a present moment really means. And I have to say, from my point of view, is that. It's hard work in order to get there, that you can consciously see that you are there, because the mind starts to wander and then it goes, and it's again, whether we live in some live in past, some live in future. So to really truly be in the moment, live in the moment, it's not as easy as we would think that it is. So so a very great point to bring out. And you, who you are watching this, if you do not have paper and pen in front of you, then I really truly encourage you to do so, because I think that today there's some very very profound things that you need to write down, and also there's a lot of work that you need to do with yourself on those points. So I encourage you to go find the paper, find the pen, and come back here. If you can even put stop to the video because you're watching video, okay? So do so. But we are moving forward, and there's another thing which when I was looking at your biography, and I was seeing and trying to get the feel of you and what you have done, and all of that. So you have published you've been contributing as an author, and you have been published in psychological journeys. So tell us more about how did you end up doing it, and obviously it goes back to your educational background as well. But tell us about that journey.
Sure. So I actually was raised partially by my aunt. She has one hand, and she lives in a very small village in China. So after I came to United States, I could study any major, but somehow like rehabilitation psychology just caught my heart. I want to serve that population of vulnerability, right? So after graduation, I opened up a mental health center. It all started in my kitchen. I remember the first meeting, the staff meeting was 16 staff sitting in my kitchen. And we were just trying to figure out how to really serve. Again, it's all about serving. And all of a sudden, one staff just started to ask about pay raise. Like really, my name, of course, at that time was Doris, right? It's like, Doris, I don't think we're getting paid enough. And to serve these clients, they have severe behavior issues. We get kicked, we got bit, we got knocked on the head. It's true. I mean, the work is really tough. So I remember that moment, I just thought to myself, you know what? I came from nothing. I can rebuild this all over again. But I need people to actually walk with me on this path who really have a serving heart. So then later she backed out, but she still worked for me for many years. But the big lesson I learned, which I want to share here, is when you really hire somebody, it's the quality of the value that you are really hiring. And that's all part in the book that I wrote. The book is about autism. It's about how I love children with autism. Because I spent 20 years in serving this population. And but eventually, after 16 years of hard work, I mean, really, I feel like I put my heart and soul, that was like my passion. You're asking my passion, right? So the passion in that form for those years, it was serving children with disabilities. Then all of a sudden, everything started to crumble. Like my empire just started to fall. I was on TV, there's a report about child abuse, and then I couldn't even get out of my house without worrying somebody would be following me. I couldn't go to my children's school because the news station would be there waiting for me. And there's that Chinese woman, all she cares is money. She doesn't care about anything else, all that kind of stuff, right? So I wrote a book after that happened. I still remember to this day, April 16th, 2015, I wrote a letter of stepping down. So I'm like, I built the company without an intent to really, I didn't even know how far it was going to go. It just grow and grow and grow and grow. We were serving 2,000, 3,000 clients at that time a month. And we had about almost 500 staff. So I said, well, I did not go to business school to really learn to be an entrepreneur, right? It's just get your hands dirty. But I'm willing for this agency to continue to hand it over to a board who are professionals, who are attorneys, accountants, and turnaround specialists, for them to turn this thing around. But eventually it didn't. Actually, I went into bankruptcy after 2 years of the whole entire professional team trying. It didn't. So I learned a huge lesson in this journey of life on earth, so to speak. So those books is more of lessons I learned from children with autism about unconditional love. More than anything is how they taught me, not what I taught them.
Well, I think autism is something very close to my heart, as well as I have in family very close, let's say, let's connection with that. And I have been always helping one center also in Mexico. So I think that to see how vulnerable life can be, and also how our society is really not ready to be inclusive. It's I think the saddest part of all of that, because it's the way that we react, and the way that we actually teach our kids to react, and really to behave in front of the people that actually need our help, not our judgment. So I think, and I want to thank you for all that incredible work. I'm pretty sure that was not a easy journey, and to do it for so many years. Wow, officially you my very new hero, because I really truly have the experience, and by far not the type that you have, but I know that it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of patience, resiliency, for sure. And this is something that most of us really need to learn, those three keywords in our life. But there's so much more into you. And let's talk about also your not only you did the center in Florida, but how did you end up doing it in Dubai? And and what was this journey with Dubai?
Well, that's another, it's almost, I feel like another lifetime, right? At the center, by the way, right now, it's amazing. It was one of the two centers really survived after COVID. A lot of centers closed in Dubai. Imagine, right? You can't really serve children in the center. But I just received the information yesterday. Actually, we won Achievement Award, and was given out by the Royal Family, and we were voted at the top centers there. Now we're serving, we have staff from 16 different countries. It's just a beautiful journey, again, to see how surrender into it. So how did I get there? I don't speak Arabic. I have no friends in Dubai. All I know is there was a calling. Like, one of my staff member in Central Florida said that there's hundreds of clients there with autism that we really could help. As an entrepreneur with a big heart, I'm like, let's go. Let's take massive action. So we went and met with the embassy in Washington, D.C., and got contacted with them. So the center setup was really nice and beautiful. We invested a lot of money, state of art. And I was in Mexico attending a wedding, and all of a sudden I received a message on my Facebook. It says, Doris, my name, right? Like, I just could not leave the center, like leave my conscious, leave the center without telling you that everything is falling apart. The woman that you hired to run the center is firing all the behavior analysts who are the one who is going to do the treatment, writing the behavior analyst report, and we're just all leaving. But I met you personally, and I know your heart, and I know how you want to serve. I just want to let you know that's what's happening. So immediately, right, like the next day was Mother's Day. I got on the airplane. I remember my daughter at that time was 7 years old. She was like, Mommy, why do you always have to fly on Mother's Day? And that just like really just broke my heart. So anyway, so I got there, and somehow through the grace that friends heard about me in that situation, and people rallied up to help. And eventually what happened was this lady was actually sentenced 3 years in jail in Dubai, but we still managed to attract the right people to the center and build the team completely from ground up. But it was just faith, I think. more than anything at this moment of life, I can only tell you, I don't know how did it happen. It really happened by itself. Is a miracle because I just trusted. I'm there to serve. God will show me the way. Somebody will be guided to help me. And that person showed up. He's an amazing gentleman. He's in his 60s. You know, he was born in Africa and he grew up in Europe and he went to Dubai to retire. And he just saw me. He's like, this lady has a big heart. I need to help her. And he's been helping ever since then. So,
Wow.
yeah.
This is another beautiful, but again, if you have been really going through the fire, I see, with all that have been sent to you before you really have it there. So, but talking about your big heart and talking about the really focus on service, and not only focus on service, but the essence of you, which is to serve others. Tell us about the sisterhood movement. I think that's the closest to your heart today, and this is what you're doing today. So tell us how did you started with it, and who do you serve, and what's the plan with this movement?
So it's called Athena Sisterhood, right? The name come about, goddess of Athena represents wisdom, courage, and inspiration. So last December, my family, we went to Athens, Greece. So Athena somehow just really come to my heart. I have been wanting to hold space for sisters for about 5 years now. You know, ever since the company here went bankruptcy, I just thought, actually not even thinking, before that, I was already moving to that energy field of helping women who used to be masculine and find their way into femininity and then marriage these two together. So I went to China to teach, and I taught it for a few years, and it was beautiful movement to see going up. But then just something happened politically. There's nothing absolutely I could do. Again, I trusted my faith, just come back home. I came back here. It was an entire year, 1 year, I did not do anything. I was just being still, centered, waiting for the call. Whatever God wants to use me, or divine, or grace wants to use me as a channel, I'm here. So then at the beginning of this year, I went to a retreat. And that was with a group of beautiful sisters. And we were just talking about helping each other birth our dreams. But I still did not know exactly what that dream looked like. I thought, well, maybe I would just start a small, like 15 people retreat in my home. I mean, I have a good space here that I can help. I was just actually starting to design that little dream. All of a sudden, COVID hit. So nobody, of course, can come. And then on March the 14th, we have a 2-story home. My daughter started to really cough and have all the symptoms. You know, at that time, the media was just sending all the information, right? And also I know it was true firsthand, because I still have friends in China who are doctors. They were sending me pictures about the bodies was lining up there in the hospital. There's no space. It was like a horror movie I watched before. So then we started to really get into we got to make sure that our neighbors do not get affected, because we have neighbors who are in their 80s, right? I mean, I believe that Serena's 14, she's strong. She can recover physically if she has that, but our whole family needs to be self-quarantined. So we immediately did that. She separated herself into her room, and we separate ourselves from our neighbors. And just that day, at night, I was again sitting still. I was just asking myself, in the moment of chaos, I got to do something. All these years of training as a psychologist, all these years of training as a leader, all these years of training as a woman goes through fires, but also actually learn from these amazing teachers. I got to do something for the sisters more than anything, because we're the mothers, we're the daughters, right? We hold the space in our family. If women can be calm and together, then the whole family will not fall apart. So I said, what could I do? I'm just going to set up a sisterhood. That's what I'm going to do. How am I going to do it? use Facebook. I'm going to do a Facebook Live. Then I said, well, I never done a Facebook Live, ever. So there you go. So my husband and I, we were not on social media. So we're just trying to figure it out. And then I just made a promise. I'm going to be here to do Facebook Live every single day, 9 to 9:30 until COVID is over. I had no idea COVID is not over for years. I thought it would be like 2 months, a month or something like that, like it should be over. But anyway, so that's how Asina Sisters started. It's really also from a very selfish point of view. I want my daughter to see her mom. Every morning, she stays in her room. She can see my beautiful smile. And that's how it all started, really from the love to her. So now she's the youngest sister in Asina Sisterhood. She is absolutely loving it. How much you watch her grow. It's only been 5.5 months. Now we already expanded to Hong Kong, to Australia, and to China. We started Mandarin. So tomorrow, she and I are going to get on a call to speak Mandarin to sisters in China. Some of them I actually touched 5 years ago. So it's a whole, really circle coming back, right? We're all totally connected.
That's beautiful. That's incredible, and especially when you feel the connection and you feel the need, and everything starts to sort of go to the right place. That's incredible feeling. So I think also our society is ready, and the movements and.
I believe that.
Empowering, helping each other, uplifting each other. It's the best time to do so, and especially again, it seems that we needed to go through the fire in order to understand that. So it's when we always see the difficult moments in our life, then we see that those things actually come out of those difficult situations. And just this morning I talked with someone, and I think our greatest breakthroughs also come from those very difficult situations where we are forced to just, whether it's to take action or whether to take decision or whatever it is that moment when we have the true breakthrough. But we talked about your books. We talked a little why you wrote them, but you have also been asked to speak at Harvard. So what was that topic there, and who did you serve there?
Oh, those were amazing experiences. I was invited a couple of times. So the first time I talked to a group, it was a alumni, right? The first time when I talked was alumni. So it was a group of young entrepreneurs, including professors. The speakers went with me are economists, like world-class economists. I just remember my topic was find your gift and give it away. And I got everybody on their seat dancing and just, really got into a very peak state. And I remember the guy who talked after me was like, who is going to beat her energy after this? She's just having so much fun. My topic is truly, I think we all have a gift. Every single one of us have a very, very unique gift. Only you have it. And you can touch those people's life. Only you can touch it because they're listening and they're searching for the message that only you can give. So the whole journey for me is also finding that gift, owning it, and then give it out. So the second topic I talked at Harvard was with a group of students. They're all in business. So the topic is success is a science, but actually fulfillment is an art. So a lot of entrepreneurs, they are focusing on achieving and getting more, growing bigger, which I went through all of that, right? But in the end, when you really feel why I'm here, this is all, after you have everything you could. I mean, everybody has different dreams size-wise in the material world, but once you at a certain point, there got to be something deeper. And that's the fulfillment part, is finding your purpose in life and really living your purpose. And how do you show up in whatever format that you're designed? That's the topic that I did there. I just, yeah, I remember those defining moments of people looking into each other's eyes and feel their soul. Like I had done an exercise there for them to really look deep, and people just start to cry. It's like that being witnessed, your sole purpose is here as an entrepreneur, not just to get the job done, but I'm here. To me, entrepreneurship, like business, is a spiritual game. This is only a channel for me to evolve as a soul. Nothing is permanent forever. Only our souls are.
Well, I think a lot of people didn't even understand now what you were saying, and they need to just experience that. So we are inviting you to start that journey and to understand what the true entrepreneurship really truly is. And if you want to know more, then Wei Li is most probably willing to help you on that journey. But going to there, you mentioned that you have had great teachers, great mentors, and our show has always highlighted the importance to have mentors in our lives, because they are truly the people that can help you to achieve your breakthrough, can help you to go to the next level, whether it's personally or professionally. What can you say, like about your teachers and your mentors? What have you? I know that you have an incredible list. Only for me to read them all would take a lot of time. But how did you, for example, the first ones, the spiritual awakening and divine femininity, how did you discover that journey? Like how that was brought in front of you?
It started with Tony Robbins. He's one of my, I'm so grateful to him. He's one of my biggest mentors. So he's the one actually I began to see business is actually a spiritual game. We went to India to study spirituality, my husband and I. It's because I feel at that time, it's just, again, it's a calling, it's something deeper. I was searching, and there, I'm just going to tell you the story. I know maybe your audience will think that I'm crazy, but I guarantee you this is how I experienced this, as real as it could possibly be, right? Because we're living in this 3D dimension here physically, but our soul is far beyond. So in this exercise, it was a physical process that we were doing, the chaotic breathing and all the exercise. We were guided by the monks or spiritual guide to go inwards to find our journey. And I went into this great hall. It was just an amazing light in there. And I saw Jesus, I saw Mother Teresa, I saw Buddha, just that they were all just there in the great hall. And somehow I was just be drawn to Mother Teresa. And I started to ask her the question, like from deep down, I have this question. It's like, I can't do it. It's too big. That's just a question. And she just looked at me and she smiled and she said, yes, child, you can. And I actually made a mind movie. I don't know, have you heard about mind movie? It's an amazing tool, visualization. You make a little mind movie about it's almost like a visual board, but it's just the emotion picture. So I put Mother Teresa's conversation with me in the mind movie. So every morning, it's a 4-minute long. I'll watch where am I going as far as the journey goes, spirituality, physically, emotionally, financially, but spiritual definitely is a big part of it. So I remember in that incident or in that space, I heard there's so much crying in the room. There was 108 of us. Right, we're Tony Robbins brothers and platinum partners and brothers and sisters and friends and families. And I just start physically moving those crying noises and pain through the Great Hall, and they come out happy and laughing and become the light. So I was moving, it's a true story, I was just physically moving, feel the energy, and they come out all happy. And this is what I feel at that time doing really the service with children with autism. That's how I went open a center in Dubai, because that's where the pain was, right? I followed the pain and helped, and they move out to become light. And that's the same thing that I'm doing with the sisterhood. Is there's a lot of sisters are in pain, but they might not know they're in pain, right? Every woman, every single woman, I don't think, or every single human being on earth, I don't think we can go through life without experience some type of pain or frustration or just anger or sadness. Those are all pain. So our job is to try to find back to the beautiful state, no matter what life threw to you, right? So that's my, I think that was one of the experiences that I can share with you. And there's quite a few of those defining moments. It really let me see a glimpse of what truly our life is about. And that's, you were asking me, how did I get there? It's all started with Tony Robbins. Even though when you look at him, he might not look like a spiritual teacher, but once we dive deeper, he really is. Yeah, it's amazing how he was doing an interview. Him and his wife, Sage, they were doing an interview with Michael Singer, who wrote the book Untethered Soul and the Surrender Experiment. So that's my life journey too. My life journey is just to continue to surrender into whatever I'm supposed to do, whatever that's called. Same as like, for example, Asina Sisterhood, right? We were talking about how was it born? It was born out of just because I've learned so much from these spiritual teachers, because I've learned so from these business masters. I've learned so much from, for example, like Margot, who's a Tantra teacher. I went to Spain and studied with her intensively. I just want to study every possible way a woman can fully blossom and living in her glorious pleasure, unapologetically. I want to experience them all. My personal, I've been married for almost 30 years. Next year will be our 30th anniversary. And my king is just amazing. But I understand that for me to be able to impact other women, I want to expand my life experience too. That's why I actually traveled, to Europe, to Asia, to Thailand, to India to learn. So goes back to, I think now the more I'm talking to you, the more it's coming back to me is, it's just a heart I want to serve. I really want to offer this gift out. From this space, there's more teachers showing up. And then from this space, another teacher will show up. As I was journeying along, more and more greater teachers will show up. I don't know who else is going to show up, but I know more guys is going to be sent to me.
For sure. In that, I'm pretty sure that's the case. But now, when you have the knowledge, when you have the awareness, what would you say, like, what are the biggest challenges, especially women are facing when they are awakening? Like, what do you see? There's for sure similarities. What is the, let's say, the usual pattern, what women are going through before they are in the stage of awakening? What would you say there?
Loneliness, feel lonely. Being an entrepreneur itself is a very lonely journey. It really takes like a gladiator, or I call us women like a badass warrior goddesses to be able to build something on your own. So I feel that's definitely one of, at least I experienced myself about, at night, like you cry and you have all these staff you have to take care of, and you have your families who's looking up to you, and you're the leader in the community, and you have to show up no matter what, and you have to show up strongly no matter what, because people are relying on you. How could you falling apart, right? So I feel that's probably a very common challenge, is that loneliness. And then also I feel maybe another one is, how do I balance all of them? Like how could I be, you know, a woman entrepreneur and an amazing wife, still have passion in the relationship? I don't even have time for it. Or I have kids, you know, I'm a full-time working mom entrepreneur. I don't have time even to go to school and feel guilty, and you know, like that time and guilt, especially woman entrepreneur. I just feel, I talk to many of them, it's just that guilt of not being a good mom, not being a good wife, you know, not being a good daughter, because we put all our energy into the business. So that's probably those two, the loneliness and guilt, common challenges.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So yes, proven. But I want to thank you, everybody, that you have taken this time today to come here and listen to us. And if you have any comments, if you have any questions, or maybe even your own recommendations, then please share them below this video. So once this video is premiered, then we will make sure that all your questions will be answered. But I'm going to ask now Wei Li her 3 recommendations how to dominate the decade.
Number 1, find a peer group that's going to love you, support you, and challenge you. As entrepreneurs, especially women, that we feel alone. If you can find a peer group, a sisterhood, who is going to be there for you at your lowest moment. And trust me, I think all women go through that cycles, sometimes on a monthly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. We'll be really great in the morning, and all of a sudden in the afternoon, we're just falling apart, like everything is going wrong. And you know, if you have a sister you could call, and knowing that even if you melted into puddles or into pieces, they will just hold you and hold space and pick you right up. So that would be my very strong first one, is find your peer group. So the second one, I would say follow your passion. For me, my passion changed. The first 20 years is I devoted my time to serve children with disabilities. And then now for the second half of my life, I'm devoting to help women to unite together and find their passion. But whatever you do, follow your passion, because that is going to keep your fire burning within. When there's low moments dipping, and that's where you will find the strength. You just go inwards and see that. So the third one I would say is absolutely taking massive action. You know, a lot of people talk and they will say, I'm going to do this or that. But if you are going to wait until you find the perfect time or perfect plan or perfect spouse or whatever it is, it's never going to happen. It's just never going to happen. So if you make a decision, take a massive action. And that massive action is going to have a momentum. And from that momentum, something else will unfold. And from that next folding, you just adjust. Just follow that path. You will never be off track, but you got to take massive action. So those would be my definitely 3 from from my years of sometimes expensive lessons.
Well, but you made it, so it was worthwhile. So if someone wants to follow you, if someone wants to contact you, how they can do so?
Oh, yes. We have a website, which is started, we're only 5.5 months old. It's called www.asinasisterhood.com. No space, just the goddess name, asinasisterhood.com. We also have a Facebook group. It's a private group. We have over 1,000 sisters in there from different countries. So just if you type in Asina Sisterhood, you'll be able to find our Facebook group. And we're also now starting on Instagrams, we're starting a page and we'll just let it unfolding. But we're very excitedly waiting for you to come and show up and then shine and be the light for the world, which is so needed right now.
That's a beautiful invitation. What would you say, what would be your final message to everybody that took the time today to listen to our interview?
Well, if anything in this interview that touched your heart, you will know, then take one action, some kind of action, doesn't matter what it is, but just take that one action today.
Well, as you know, she just took my lines away. Now I need to come up with new ones, but I will reinforce. So today you have the power to become the hero of your life. How? By taking really action on everything that you were able to write down today from this interview. And also, I think that at least the first step after you wrote them down, to define maybe what exactly do you need to do, but don't wait long by taking action. Speed of implementation is everything, especially in entrepreneurship. But we all know how we can become the hero in someone else's life. Sharing is caring. So you just need to do one click, which means that share this video and you will become the hero in someone else's life. So today you can make the decision. If you want to be the hero of your own life and in someone else's life, take action. I will see you in our next episode. And Wei Li, thank you very much for this incredibly energetic and lightning interview. And I'm pretty sure that very soon we are back with the sisterhood and more sisters to share the great success story, how you have been lifting each other and really helping each other to blossom and have the success that everybody has been dreaming of. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.